Hey everybody, it's Joe, the 3D printing professor, and there's something interesting going on in the world of 3D printing, and I want to talk about it today. But before we do, I need to kind of lay down my credentials for talking about this. This subject touches on the area of law and how it interacts with creative fields, and I am not a lawyer. However, I did go to school to be an artist. And if you go to school to be an artist, they make you take a couple of courses about law and the creative fields, copyrights and licensing and things like that. Because if you're going to be in these creative fields, it pays to know where the lines are so that you can stay within them. And so I had the opportunity to study several of the bigger cases related to copyright and law and these things. And I have pretty much shared everything that I've learned in those classes and the studying that I've done after that in other videos in the past, which I will put up a playlist that if you want to get my full knowledge on the subject, just watch that playlist and you'll pretty much know everything I know about the subject. But this case is something that's happening right now might actually open up some new possibilities that I'm kind of excited about. So what are we talking about? Well, this user here on TikTok claims that Disney has stolen his 3D model. He says that he made this 3D model and that Disney downloaded it off Thingiverse and used it to create a product that they are selling in their stores. And he claims that this is his 3D model because he finds some unique markers that he made the 3D model. He's intimately familiar with every stroke and line in it. So, it's his. Well, except for the part that it's based on the Tiki Drummers from the Tiki Room in Disneyland. That's why Disney is selling them. They have these drummers in Tiki Room, and he claims a perfect reproduction of them, except for the unique markers that he claims marks it as his. And we could get into a whole discussion about whether he actually has the right to any part of this, because he's taking Disney's model and he's making it his own, but he claims, hey, Disney may have the right to the Tiki Drummer, but they don't have the right to my performance of that Tiki Drummer. But does he have the right to it? I mean, again, he didn't create the Tiki Drummer. He didn't create this particular look. He just created this exact model, but it's based off of Disney's work. And if you want to really get into this, Leonard French did a fantastic video about all of that. But that's not really what I'm wondering. See, in the 3D printing world, there are a lot of people who are making a lot of 3D models, and a lot of them are based on existing intellectual properties. Like, how many Baby Groots are out there? Or if not Baby Groot, when The Mandalorian came out, there were no Baby Yoda toys, which, okay, he's Grogu, but at the time we didn't know, we just called him Baby Yoda, and we were making those toys. Now, did we have the right to make those? I mean, it wasn't our character, but this represents somebody's hard work and things like that. And so, they were sharing it out there. Now, here's the thing. If you understand the way the law works and the way all of this happens, you understand that if you create a model based on somebody else's property, intellectual property, you don't really have the right to it. And people will go, well, we released it under the Creative Commons. Now, the Creative Commons only communicates the artist's intent, okay? It doesn't protect anything. What protects you is copyright or intellectual rights or trademarks. You don't have any rights by the Creative Commons license. The Creative Commons license, in fact, loosens those rights so that people can download those models, because otherwise, retaining exclusive rights to it, other people shouldn't be able to download them and 3D print them and make their own. You use the Creative Commons to let other people do that. But if you don't have that right to begin with, because you based your work on somebody else's work that they own, then the Creative Commons is in no real effect. And it's frustrating, but that's the reality of it. But the thing is, okay, this is something that I'm not 100% sure of, but my understanding of it is Disney, for example, must enforce their intellectual property if they know that it is being infringed upon. Because if they don't, then, well, let's take an example. I don't know how many of you know who Wexter is. He is an amazing 3D model creator. He does some amazing work, including some very cute little bean-shaped versions of these characters. But here's the thing. A lot of the stuff that he does, especially the stuff that he's well known for, he doesn't own these characters. He didn't create these characters. They're based on other people's work. And in fact, I think almost every single one of those. No, there's is Studio Ghibli? Disney distributes Studio Ghibli. Either way, this entire thing up here, Disney could get very upset about. And Disney could sue Wexter. And Wexter knows this. I suspect, I think I've talked to him about this in the past. He knows that, yeah, he doesn't really own any of this, so he has to be careful. That's why he gives these models away for free. Well, mostly. I mean, yeah, the models that he keeps as exclusive aren't based on other people's work. He's doing his best to keep himself safe, but Disney could just straight up come and try and shut him down. And in the past, that has always been a question of, first of all, are they aware? And secondly, if they are aware, what do they think about it? Because if Disney decides, and I say Disney, I keep saying Disney like Disney is a person, which, okay, fine, Senator Romney, yes, corporations are people, but I mean the people who work at and represent Disney. And of course, many of those people are aware of 3D printing, so they're aware of Thingiverse, they're aware of these communities, but does Disney are they officially aware of us? Because if they are, why aren't they taking us down? So I've suspected that what Disney's official answer would be is, we don't know nothing about that. Because if they did, if they knew anything about that, they'd have to police the whole lot of them. Let's go back to Wexter. So Disney approaches Wexter, serves him papers, and says, hey, we're going to sue you. His defense could be, well, what about this guy over here? You didn't sue him. You took his model and used it. You actually approved of his work. So you can't sue me. You might approve of my work as well. You can't. You set a precedent with this guy, and you have to follow that precedent now. Let me throw out an analogy here. It's going to be kind of weak and weird, but bear with me. Let's say that there's a house in your neighborhood that nobody lives at. I mean, yeah, somebody owns it, but they're just never there. So you decide, you know what? I'm gonna go in and check this house out. And so you search around, you find the key under the doormat, you let yourself in, you look around, and you're like, you know what? It's a little dusty, needs a little bit of cleaning, but otherwise it's pretty serviceable. And you actually clean it up. And in fact, you fix it up. You do some renovations to the house to make it livable, to make it good, to make it really serviceable. And then you let your friends live there for free because you're a nice person and you just want to share what you have. But then the owner shows up. And they see people living in their house that they don't want, and so they kick them out. They take the house back, change the locks. But then they look around at the work you did on the house and go, this is pretty good. We were kind of thinking of doing this ourselves, so you know what? Let's start putting this on Airbnb. And all of a sudden you get upset and you're like, well, now hold on for a second. You're benefiting from my hard work. And they say, well, we didn't ask you to do this work. You're lucky that we're not suing you. And it's that you're lucky part. Because, yeah, they didn't sue you. They just kicked you out and then started benefiting from it. So in that case, that sets a precedent for the next guy who, renovates a house for them. Like I said, the analogy is weird, but do you get the idea? That's the same vibe as is coming off here. Is the person who made this? He's going, well, you're benefiting off my hard work, and they're like, we didn't ask you to do that work. You just did that for free for us, and yeah, we can benefit from it because it's our model. But the unintended side effect may be that Disney now loses the right to stop anybody from making copies of any of their models because of what they did in this one case. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not 100% sure that this is the case. The term that I have heard used for this is estoppel, but the more I look into estoppel, I'm not 100% sure that that is correct. But, man, what if this is the moment that we found out that Disney knows that we've been ripping them off, and that they officially and legally now don't care. We are now free to do whatever we want without worrying about repercussions. Now, that doesn't really answer the question of, well, can we sell it? Because, yeah, this guy wasn't selling those models. So, yeah, there's still some questions here, but I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments. However, I do want to add one more thing. If you are a creative person, and if you have the capability to make these things, and we all do it. I've done it a lot with Doctor Who, and other people have done it with that. We all make these fan homages to things that we love. But if you want to be safe, the best choice, the only choice, is do something original. And I understand how hard that is, because doing something original means that you don't get to benefit from years of recognition and work that has happened on those properties by other people. You have to do all of that yourself, and you may never in your lifetime, if you worked every day at it, you may never achieve that same level of recognition and understanding, and you would live your entire life in obscurity because you didn't piggyback on the things that people love. I understand how frustrating that is, but that's the safe road. That's the only safe road. However, maybe the rest of it just got a little bit safer. I don't know. Jump in the comments, let me know what you think. I'm excited about this possibility if what this guy says is true. And if Disney did in fact, if this represents Disney acknowledging that the rest of us are here, quite a day. While you're checking out this cool thing posted by one of you on the What You Making channel on my Discord, why don't you open up the cards and see what deep dive into the topics of this video you can do. And this is really cool. Yeah, I really enjoy it when people connect with me on social media. That's why I've got links to all the socials in the description, and I hope you'll check them out. I've also got a Patreon, which you can check out here, and I'll tell you a little secret about the suggested videos. This is the one that YouTube thinks that you'll like. This is the one, though, that I think you'll like. Which one of us is right? Only one way to know for sure. Gotta watch them both. And remember, safety first, because I really do care about you, and see you next time.